Okay, what I'm going to show you today is how to make baskets for superworm and for mealworm beetles, so that you're not spending your entire day sifting through beetles, pulling beetles out of the bins, out of the brand, and moving them to new bins. So every week when we move our beetles, and we do it every week, every 7 days, we move our superworm beetles and we move our mealworm beetles. It's easy. All we do is pull this up, shake the bran out through the bottom screen. These guys get a little ride, a little fun ride. So we make sure we get all of that, all of the bran out of there, because that bran will have eggs in it. And then we move it. So then we take the baskets, move it over into a new bin. Just lay it in the bin, move it down a little bit so that it settles in, and then we put fresh bran over the top. And the reason that we do that is so that it's easy for the beetles to lay eggs right in the bran. Then we put fresh potato slices on the bran, and the beetles will lay eggs right there. And then in a week we move it out again to another bin. So I'm going to show you exactly how we make these bins. And so let me just start quickly with the bins themselves. These are just cheap kitchen bins that we got at a dollar store. They're probably about 50 cents each. And we have some wire, two different kinds of wire. So this wire is for the mealworm beetles, and this one's for the superworm beetles. So you can see the superworms are bigger, and so they have we put bigger holes so that they can get through and lay the eggs. And then when we sift them, they'll stay up. And then the same thing with those. So we have two different kinds of screen. And these bins, about 50 cents worth of bins, and probably about $1 worth of screen. And then we use a glue gun. And we use this plastic cutter to cut it's a plastic welder actually, and we use it to cut the bottoms of these bins out, and then we weld it in, or we glue it in with the glue gun. So I'm going to take that all apart now and show you how that looks. And it's pretty easy to make, and for a couple dollars you end up with a great setup that's really easy to use. And we literally could take 100 bins and change them out in probably about 10 or 15 minutes. And it used to take us a full day to move the beetles, the mealworms and the superworm beetles. It would take our guys a full day to move them, and now it takes about 15 minutes for superworms and 15 minutes for the mealworms, and we get them all moved out. So I'm going to start putting this stuff together, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm just heating this thing up, and then I'm going to make some cuts, go all around the edge. I don't want too much of a lip, because I don't want the mealworms and the superworms laying eggs in the basket that will get stuck underneath the fence, underneath the screen. So what I want is just enough to hold I can't speak tonight. Hold the screen in place, but not enough to give them a place so that the eggs stay in there, because then when you move them, you're going to be bringing the eggs with you to a new bin. You don't want to do that. You want the eggs to remain in the old bin so that they could hatch out, and that's how you'll have worms of all of the same size, in each bin. This way you don't have to separate, you don't have to sort. All you have to do is move these bins every week, move the baskets every week, and you'll have the same size worms in every bin. All right, I'm going to keep cutting, and then I'll come back. Okay, this is almost cut. It's almost all the way through. And then I'm going to remove this and start cutting the screen. Okay, so now we cut the bottom out. Here's the bottom from that first dish pan. And now what I'm going to do is just measure out the screen. I'm going to cut it a little bit, maybe an inch bigger than the bottom. And then after that, we're going to start gluing it in. So I just wanted you to see what we're going to do. But I'm going to start cutting this out, and then I'll fire up the glue gun, and we'll glue it in. Thanks. All right, so I cut the screen. Now you can see that'll fit in nicely. And again, I just did it about an inch bigger than the bottom cut, the bottom piece that I cut out. And now what I'm going to do is fire up the glue gun and secure this in, let it dry, let it cool off, and it'll be ready to use. All right, and here's our finished product. So screen's on the bottom, it's secure, it's welded in there with glue from the glue gun. Put some Gorilla Glue sticks, heavy duty glue sticks to glue that in. And then, and that's it. So now what I'll do is just fill it with fresh mealworm beetles and place it in a new bin. And that's ready to go, just like this one. And that's it. Thank you.